Hi everyone, and welcome to GPD video number 3. And this one, we're going to be talking about the 3 steps, an overview of the course, and the 3 steps of the what and how. So the overview of the course, the Graduate Professional Development course, our tagline is empowering trainees to be market ready. So it doesn't matter if it's academic or non-academic, inside or outside university, we want our trainees to be market ready for any career. And when I mention trainees being graduate students, postdocs, so learners, you can include learners of any grade of grad education. It is a course that's 12-hour contact time. It's a credit course, and it features team generative learning. So when I say team generative learning, it means that there's peer feedback given throughout the course, and it's generative in that one class is built upon the next. And I'll illustrate with an example in a little bit. The 3 steps is a reflection piece, meaningful engagement, and storytelling. So reflection, creating your opportunities, and having strategic communications, or what some people call marketing your brand. You're doing all this great stuff, but how do you market your brand? We're going to be talking about those 3 steps. The deliverables in the course is that each student has to write a research summary of their PhD or their master's work in about 700 to 800 words for the general public. They also use that research summary to present a 3-minute thesis. And then we also go through how to apply for a job, no matter what kind of job it is, or how to create your own job. All students receive one-on-one consultations with me about their career and their professional development. It is also a site of talent incubation or recruitment, as employers have come to me and mentioned that they would like to tap into the talent pool. And there's also lifetime office hours for any student taking this course, which means you can contact me at any time. It didn't matter if you've graduated or it's 5 years later or 10 years later. So going back to the generative learning, I want to illustrate with, let's say, the research summary in the 3MT. The first week, we talk about how a research summary is written for the general public, and then students go write it. Then the second week, they bring it in, and then there's peer feedback. So I have a template, and then I illustrate to the class what they're looking for. And then students go away, and then week 3, they bring in a polished version of the research summary. And then I look at it, I give them a review of it, give them critique and some feedback. And then the next week, they use that feedback as a foundation for their oral presentation for a 3-minute thesis. They bring their one static slide in, and then they are now presenting in front of their peers. I also give a rubric on what to look for in providing feedback. And then that week, they are receiving feedback from their peers and also from me. Then the final week of the class is that 6th class, is when they present their 3-minute thesis to a panel of judges that are not part of the class. And sometimes they're brought in from other walks of life, such as art, music, people that have not been exposed to biochemistry or immunology or any life sciences. And sometimes they're alumni from this class or alumni that have given great 3MT presentations. So that's an example of one aspect of the generative learning that we do. Now, I want to take a little bit of time here to mention that as an educator and as a class, I find that what really helps is if you incorporate music into your classes. So when do I play this music? It's usually when people are walking in, when people are leaving, but also when I have group activities. And the types of music that I like to use is from a series on YouTube you can find called BGM Music, and I'll just illustrate here. So you can just Google in YouTube BGM coffee music, and my favorite, personal favorite, is the one that shows this coffee mug. And you can, but there are a bunch of other examples that you can try. And I'll just play you a clip. So I find that using music helps with relaxing the atmosphere a little bit. It helps with team activities, and it helps people come up with really creative ideas. So that's really an important part of this class, and you can try it for any of your meetings or any of your classes, and it helps to bring the team together. Okay. So the impact on trainees of GPD, here are some trainees, and I have a sampling of 31 out of the 80 or so that have gone on to jobs. And as you can see, I just put this slide up here to illustrate that it's any job that they want to do. So from biotech to healthcare to investment banking to academic postdoc positions, it really is up to you. And I just want to say about 95% of the students that have gone on to these next careers have done so through the network. Through the network, either through me, through other networks, through them, through people that they knew, or through people they kind of knew through LinkedIn, their first connection, second connection, or third connections. So the network is a very key way of obtaining that job, especially if you have a master's or a PhD degree in life sciences, or in any discipline, actually. So let's delve into these 3 steps. The first step is reflection. You kind of have to know yourself to know where you want to go. The second step, meaningful engagement. You want to do stuff that matters. Do stuff that matters to what you enjoy, what you're good at, and what you care about. The third step is storytelling. How do you tell the story to the rest of the world? The tools I use for reflection is a Science Careers Individual Development Plan, which I will go into a little bit later. The book that Dr. Reitmeyer and I wrote called Success After Graduate School. The tools for meaningful engagement are called wayfinding and prototyping. Prototyping essentially means just trying stuff. And the terms wayfinding and prototyping I've taken away from a Designing Your Life Stanford studio that I attended 2 years ago, which I will also get into a little bit later. And the third step of storytelling is marketing you. How do you network? How do you write your what's called CAR statements on your resume? How do you use STAR methods for your interviews? And the importance of 3-minute thesis presentations. So how do you break down these 3 steps? I'm going to take each of those 3 steps and break them down in my next 3 videos. So continue for video number 4 to go into the individual development plan.